So I've been recording several videos today. Obviously, when this video comes out, it's not going to really make a difference because this video is supposed to be released on Tuesday. But I wanted to make this video because, like you guys know, the Chainsaw Man manga, it's there, it goes on break, it comes back. So I wanted a spot to fill in when it comes to Chainsaw Man content because I like having Tuesday being a Chainsaw Man day where we can talk about, the chapter itself if it comes out, or a Chainsaw Man related video. What I'm doing here today is doing another what if scenario, which has been very common on the channel as of recent. I've been doing a lot of videos like this, but this is going to be a video talking about what if Denji never became Chainsaw Man? How would things go? How would his life be? How would it affect everything else in the story as a whole? And I wanted to make this as dark as I possibly could. So if I managed to do that, awesome. If I didn't, hey, I tried. But if you guys have any thoughts on this topic itself, like if you guys have your own little story that you want to tell me about in the comments, let me know. If you guys have any more suggestions of what if videos that are Chainsaw Man related or other videos that you want me to tackle when it comes to other what if scenarios, let me know in the comments. But let's dive into this because this is going to be a very meaty video in terms of length. So if Denji never meets Pochita, his life starts and ends in the same miserable place. He's still buried under his dad's debt, still working for the Yakuza, and still barely surviving day to day. There's no chainsaw cord in his chest, no secret power, just a sick kid selling organs and killing small devils with tools that barely work. Every job he takes is a gamble with his life, and the odds are never in his favor. Nothing about his situation improves, it only gets more exhausting as time goes on. And without Pochita, Denji also loses the only real comfort he ever had. Pochita wasn't just a devil, it was the one thing that listened to him and stayed by his side. Without that presence, Denji's world feels even emptier. There's no one to talk to at night, no shared dreams about toast and jam, no reason to believe things could ever change. His thoughts would probably get darker and quieter the longer he's alone. Physically, Denji wouldn't last long doing devil work without any real power. He's already missing an eye, already half dead most days, and the Yakuza don't care if he survives as long as they get paid. If he fails a job or comes back empty-handed, they just see him as useless. And in that situation, it's hard not to think they just take whatever organs he has left and toss them aside. He's not an asset to them, he's a resource. So before anything big ever happens, Denji's story is already cornered. No future, no escape, no sudden miracle waiting around the corner. Without Pochita, there's no path forward for him at all. He's just another kid crushed under a system that was never going to let him live long enough to want more. Eventually, the Yakuza still set Denji up. They still drag him out to do a job that's clearly wrong, and they still turn on him the moment it benefits them. In this version, when Denji is surrounded and cut down, that's where it ends. There's no Pochita to pull him back from the brink. He bleeds out alone, realizing too late that he was never meant to survive this life. That death feels especially cruel because Denji never even gets a real moment of clarity. He doesn't die as a hero or a symbol of anything meaningful. He dies confused, tired, and still thinking about the most basic things he never got to have. No normal meals, no freedom, no choice. It's just an unceremonious ending that nobody remembers. And without Chainsaw Man being born in that moment, the fallout is completely different. There's no sudden massacre of zombies, no mysterious devil hunter showing up out of nowhere. The outside world, it's just another devil incident cleaned up later by public safety. Denji's body is probably thrown away like trash and his name never matters to anyone. That moment is supposed to be the turning point of the story, but without Pochita, it becomes a dead stop instead. No transformation, no second chance, no escalation. Just a quiet ending that barely causes a ripple except for the fact that something important never comes into existence. And Makima only ever cared about Denji because of Chainsaw Man. Without Pochita, Denji never enters her world. To her, he's just another dead civilian caught up in a devil problem that completely derails everything she was planning, because the one thing she wanted above all else simply doesn't exist in her grasp. Without Chainsaw Man, Makima's version of controlling fear and reshaping the world stalls out. She still has power, influence, and control over people, but she loses her ultimate tool. She can kill devils, manipulate hunters, and bend systems to her will, but she can't erase fear itself. That limitation changes everything about how far she can go. But what's unsettling is that Makima also never gets stopped in this version. Denji was the only person who truly disrupted her control in the end. Without him, there's no one close enough or unpredictable enough to break her grip. She continues operating behind the scenes, shaping outcomes in subtle, terrifying ways. So instead of her dramatic downfall, Makima's presence just lingers. The world doesn't get better, but it doesn't completely collapse either. It just stays under quiet control, with people never realizing how much of their lives are being guided by something inhuman that was never challenged. And without Denji, Aki never gets pulled away from his obsession. There's no annoying roommate to soften him, no shared meals, no strange little family forming around him. He stays locked into revenge, pouring everything into killing the gun devil. That path only leads one way, and it isn't a peaceful one. Without those bonds, Aki is more likely to burn himself out faster. He takes worse risks, pushes himself harder, and loses whatever humanity he still has. When his story reaches its breaking point, there's no Denji there to ground him or give meaning to his suffering. His end would feel colder and more mechanical, just another hunter lost the job. Power also changes drastically without Denji. He's the one who saved her cat, stuck by her, and slowly taught her how to care about someone else. Without that influence, Power stays selfish, reckless, and isolated. There's no reason for her to grow or protect anyone but herself. In that state, Power probably doesn't survive very long. Either she dies early due to her own choices, or she's disposed of once she becomes incompetent. The version of Power that learns loyalty and sacrifice never exists here, because the person who sparked that change was never around. On a larger scale, a world without Chainsaw Man is a world with no symbol to rally around. There's no terrifying figure for devils to fear and no strange hero for people to cling to. Every devil attack feels heavier because there's no sense that something unstoppable might show up and end it. Fear just keeps stacking on top of fear. Threats like the gun devil become even more devastating in this timeline. Even if they're eventually dealt with, the cost would be higher and the hope lower. Without Chainsaw Man, there's nothing that fundamentally shifts the balance. Devils keep coming back, fear keeps feeding them, and the cycle never slows down. Public safety continues doing what it always does, but without Denji, every fight feels more desperate. There's no wild card, no impossible survivor, no one who breaks the rules just by existing. Losses pile up quietly and victories temporary. When I think about it like this, Denji never becoming Chainsaw Man doesn't just erase a character, it removes the one thing that disrupted a system. Because without him, the world doesn't explode into chaos, it just stays dark, controlled, and unforgiving, with no one ever cutting through it. So like I said, this was going to be a pretty meaty video when it comes to what I wanted to discuss here, because like you guys can clearly see with everything that I talked about in this video itself, the world of Chainsaw Man would get dark. It would get really, really dark. Like Denji never getting another chance at life. He just dies right there. yeah, that sucks. And then just seeing all these other characters affected around him, like Power, like not ever finding their second chance at life, actually viewing things from a different lens would suck too. And then still having Makima the way she is, but not really having that power that she wanted when she had Chainsaw Man. Things would just feel so different. And it makes me very curious to see, like, if we were reading a alternate version of Chainsaw Man that was like super, super dark. And Chainsaw Man gets dark, but imagine it went down this direction. You just saw everything that happened in the first chapter where Denji never merged with Pochita, where Pochita became his heart and he became Chainsaw Man. You just saw this version where he died right there. Like, how would everything happen beyond that? It's just pretty crazy to think about. But I wanted to get creative here. I wanted to get dark. I wanted to disrupt the system here. I wanted to go the extra mile. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, which leads me to what I want to talk about with you next. What are your thoughts on this specific topic of Denji never became Chainsaw Man? How do you think it would affect the story and, everything around him, or, just as a whole? Like, how would things feel if this ever happened? Let me know your thoughts down below, because I'm pretty sure you guys have a creative mind just like me when it comes to the sort of ideas that you want to share. Very curious to see what they are. Let me know down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, as always, be sure to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you guys want to follow me on my social media, be sure to check out my X, my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Facebook. All the links are located in the description below, so be sure to follow me on there. Be sure to check out my Discord server when it comes to anime, manga, Chainsaw Man, all these different things you want to talk about. It's listed in the description. It's also pinned in the comment section down below, just in case you guys want easier access that way. And also be sure to answer the question that I leave you guys in the comments below so we can engage in conversation like we always do. Be sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are notified whenever I'm dropping a new video on the channel. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.